Hey everybody, it's free to play bust with expedition number 181. Let's see what we get. Oh man, it's it's none of the new cards. What are we supposed to do? No, that's fine. As far as these go, we're gonna take this scouted out misfortune. It's been a while since we've gone down this path, but to at least talk about these other two real quick. I'm not real huge on this Vladimir theme. It seemed like pretty mediocre in the older expansions, like before the release of Call of the Mountain and then Monuments of Power. And it seems like, it should get kind of a boost in Monuments of Power with the healing aspect added from Soraka. But like, if our game plan is to like sit around and play a Crimson Curator and then deal some damage to it to add a unit to our hand and then heal it and then deal some more damage to it to get another unit, like that's fine. That's a reasonable value engine. It's just not good enough. As it stands, like you're gonna like run into invoke decks and just get blasted. You're gonna run into even like Lux or Heimerdinger and just get blasted. I just don't think there's enough value out of this Crimson Curator engine, given the cards that exist now. Could there be better Battle Scars style cards in the future? Sure, but as it stands right now, I don't think this Crimson Curator engine is good enough to realistically and reliably get you a deck to 7 wins. And so this next one, Demacia Steel Garen is fine. This is a real straightforward build around. You're basically going to be looking for Vanguard Bannerman, and after Vanguard Bannerman, you're going to either decide if you're fully in elites, to which point you'll start looking for Battlesmith, or if you're just going to be in some kind of like mid-rangey Bannerman deck. Then not fully focus on the elites aspect of it. Either one is fine. Whichever way you choose to go about it, I don't recommend drafting a full set of Garens. You typically want to pair this with Demacia and then take 3 of whatever that other Demacia champion is. So we're going to end up taking this Misfortune down here. This does pair up with Quinn. This is supposed to be the Scouts deck out of Scouted Out, which is fine. It's a pretty powerful deck. If you want to do the Scout thing, you have to pair this with Demacia, because Island Navigator and the 5-cost 4/4 that give something vulnerable. Those aren't enough scout units to try and get these misfortune flips happening. In my opinion, what is just even better now is is using all of the great Targon 1-drops. If we're able to pair this up with Diana in particular, there's just an incredible set of 1-drops that we can pair up with this misfortune, and just have an all-around pretty powerful aggro deck. But let's take a moment. We're going to take this misfortune, get it pulled up on the website, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay, if you're not familiar with the site, it's ftpbus.com. We're just going to scroll down to the little drop down, and then there's the misfortune scouted out. Perfect. And so this will just list all of the cards that are in the card pool. With the stars, these are kind of cards that are either ultra powerful or just real big build-arounds. The check marks are kind of the core to your deck. The blank spaces are just kind of whatever, and then the X's are cards that we're going to try to actively avoid. And so, with this card pool, there's a few different ways that you can build it out. If you take a look at the Moonlit Heist, this is the kind of traditional Bilgewater way I'll look at this deck, to where we're just building around ultra aggressive 1-drops and then trying to refill our hand with things like Pilfered Good and Black Market Merchant. This would be the kind of Bilgewater heavy build around that you can pull off with this deck. A little bit easier to do it with Moonlit Heist, but some of these cards may show up because there's a lot of kind of overlap between these pools. To that end, it tends to be the Bilgewater heavy thing is just a real plunder deck. So, Misfortune makes it easy to hit plunders. Crackshot Corsair makes it easy. Make It Rain also makes it easy. This pairs up well with things like Sejuani and Gangplank. But some of the other things that this ends up with, the Scouted Out Misfortune pairs up with Quinn. Quinn has all of the good scout units. All the good scouts are in Demacia. The only things that live here are Island Navigator, which is one and kind of makes one. Razor Scale Hunter is the other. And so if you're really looking to flip this misfortune with scouts, you have to be in Demacia. So that's a pretty straightforward card pool. If we take Demacia, it can be for this just pure misfortune build around. The other thing I really like here is just to pair this up with one of the Targon champions. Diana's card pools are all extremely good at the 1, 2, and 3-drop slots. I have to double check with Taric, and then Leona also has extremely good early game between the Solari Soldier and the Solari Shield Bearer, and so there are a lot of good choices that the Misfortune can get paired with. Let's kick it back over and check out the next set of cards. We forgot to hit record on the initial thing there, and we took the Misfortune, and then this set of cards showed up. So here, I think we can pretty quickly ignore the Nox and Might Darius. This is a fine card pool, and it is good to start out with Basilisk Rider. But when we have one of these top-tier champions like Misfortune, I don't really want to be pivoting into a Noxus heavy deck, because we're going to want to pick up between most definitely, like if you're trying to build around Darius, you can live with 2 Misfortunes, but we're going to certainly want 3, and that's, at a minimum going to be 9 Bilgewater cards. Just makes it too hard to hit allegiances, so I don't really want to be making this kind of pairing. So it'll come down to either the Quinn or the Taric. The Relentless Quinn has a big chunk of the cards that we're looking for. Like if we pull this up, it's not, the exact pairing that we're looking for and scouted out, but it does have Green Fang Warden in it. It doesn't have the 4-drop guy, which is kind of the big one, but it does, have the Warden, and it has access to Jin Vivi as one of the ultra powerful, expensive units. But we know if we can easily pivot this over here. Here's where you see where there's with the Badger Beard and the Grizzled Ranger Jin Vivi set. Just if you're really looking to flipper Misfortune, this is kind of the way to go about it. But the one that I'm kind of interested in here is Taric. I'm not sure what units actually live in here. I don't think they're going to be good enough, and we're just going to have to take the probably just take the Quinn. There's Startled Stomper and Tayari. These aren't the real good ones. The pack that we have there in particular is good with the Mountain Goat Crescent Guardian. I'm kind of curious if that will kind of push us towards seeing Diana cards, since these are both kind of mainstays of the Diana pool. Like if you want to see what I'm kind of specifically talking about that we're looking to put together here, Moonlit Heist, you can see it with. There's just these excellent 1-drops in Gift Giver, Duskbringer, and there's one more, the Spacey Sketcher. Then it has great 2-drops in the Shade Stalker and Diana herself, Mountain Goat also included, and then in the 3-drop slot there's this the Crescent Guardian. And so I'm kind of curious if we do take that Taric, if a bunch of these Diana cards will show up, since this is already paired up with Crescent Guardian and Mountain Goat, and then just kind of hope that these early game cards show up in the future. It's just the Targon early game is just so good, and it's so good to just be able to pair that up with Misfortune. Like, yeah, see the Shield Bearer, Soldier, these are the other sets of just incredible early game units that we're looking for. I think I'm okay with rolling the dice and going down this path. With Misfortune, it's not like super important to actually get her to flip. Her level 1 ability is just powerful enough, and so I think I will take this Taric here and see if we're able to put this aggro deck together. Okay. Pretty happy with this set here, and I guess I should call out the other thing that we can kind of also hope to see is if there is another Demacia pack in the run, then we can just take it and be a 3-faction deck. There's nothing really stopping us from doing that, and so hopefully if we take a Scouted out here, maybe we'll see a Demacia a little bit in the future, and then that would be like fantastic from a curve standpoint, because those Scout units in Demacia don't really pick up until the 3 and the 4-drops, and we're really looking for the 1s and the 2s out of Targon. So if everything goes together, that could be pretty cool. But here, not interested in the Ibex or the Blessing of Targon. Blessing of Targon's okay. This guy we're not super interested in, but these cards over here are both top notch. And then Astral Protection has grown on me quite a bit. I thought this was going to be a real turd of a card, but this is actually surprisingly powerful from what we've seen here throughout the initial week of Monuments of Power. But more to the theme here, whether or not we find Demacia cards or whatever we're doing, the Butcher Boxtopus are just going to be too good to pass up. Okay. These cards are kind of turdy. I mean, I don't want this more powder pack. We're not going to have enough like AoE cards to make this any good. You know, we'll probably pick up a Make It Rain or two, but I really prefer this to be paired with Piltover if we're going to be trying to use powder kegs. But these other packs are super turdy. Like Star Shepherd, we're not going to be able to activate. You have to be in this Mending Touch build around for this to be any good. I mean, it really just takes, I guess I should just say, it takes like a handful of gems to turn this into a real unit. But it's not likely. There's going to be too many times where this is just a 0-3 do nothing. So out of all of these, I think we're kind of stuck taking the Crackshot Corsair with Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand is abysmal, but between More Powder, Sleight of Hand, and Star Shepherd, I feel like it's probably the least abysmal of the three. So we'll go ahead and snatch that up. Okay. Interesting. I am kind of interested in Sneaky Zeebolds in these decks. Just, you know, basically give all of your units Fearsome, right? It's very similar to having a flipped Nocturne on the board. This is super good at closing out games. We will be looking for one of these in our run, just not paired up with Wish. This card is trash. So here, I do think we want the Razor Scale Hunter. This is one of the kind of top tier units that we can have in our deck. It's just an excellent piece of top end. Just gives us this interaction, which is hard to find in Bilgewater Targon. We really just giving out vulnerables is all that we're going to have unless we're able to spike a Sunburst or hit a Scrap Shot. Here, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing with Bayou Brunch, but maybe we can find something to do with this. The idea that you're supposed to be doing with Bayou Brunch is you brunch away a Boxtopus, and so he gives another unit 3-1 for a while, and then that unit dies, and then Boxtopus comes back as a 3-4. That's the idea behind what this card does. In practice, I feel like this just takes too much mana for too little payoff. But I want the Hunter. I don't think, as far as these packs have gone, we're not going to be in this plunder deck where we're finding pilfered goods and black market merchants, so having these plunder hits just isn't super important. Okay, all right. Here's our shot to get in on Demacia, and this is quite the powerful pack. These Fleet Feather Trackers, like all of these early game challengers, are fantastic with Misfortune. We picked up a couple Scouts, and then these other cards are all turds, and so this is just a pretty easy pickup here. I'd love to just have some of the what are they called, the Divine Shield guy, and then the more Grizzled Rangers. Be completely okay with that. Here. Probably just going to take Jack the Winner. It's pretty good at closing out games. We tend to have an abundance of units that we don't care about that we can just throw this damage at. And then being a 5/5 for 5 is just all around a pretty good deal. And Black Market Merchant will pan out pretty well in this style of deck. Okay. Interested in Fortune Croaker Pool Shark. This really does help push us towards this ideal of just having our curve be ultra cheap and then just winning through quantity. That's the way I like a lot of these decks to be, and this is a pretty good start to doing it when we already have the Merchant and then picking up 2 more card draw cards. All of these over here are pretty mediocre and expensive. Like, we don't need Screeching Dragons. Prismatic Barrier is just too expensive of a combat trick, and these are Hired Gun is good, Ranger's Resolve is good, but they aren't as high quality as the other two. Okay. Interesting. I'm okay with having Smooth Soloist. We tend to be able to make some pretty good work out of this, but I think we're just going to take the Navigator Hired Gun. Just get a little bit more interaction, and some of these just big... This is a pretty reasonably costed set of units. Okay, well, there's another set of card draw. I have a real hard time passing up on Pool Sharks. We won't have much use out of Redoubled Valor here. Same with Silverwing Diver. Make It Rain is something we'd love to have. It's a little bit chicken and the egg between Make It Rain and Pilfered Goods, but you have units in your deck. It's not that hard to find attacks, and so we always have activators for that. Geez, and Cytheria Boxtopus, that's the easiest take of the run here. I'd rather it be Gen Vivi, but I mean, we can't just sit around and pick and choose what epics decide to show up. Picking up 2 of them at this point of the run is pretty fantastic. Over here, the Cutthroat Make It Rain are good, but we're not going to find anything to outdo this Challenger and a Cytheria. So we'll go ahead and pick those up. Okay, this one's a touch awkward. Like these all have horrible cards. I guess that's what we get for having to take some of these high rolls that we've seen. I'm a big fan of Spacey Sketcher. These sleight of hands are just terrible. There's just legitimate times when this is actual do nothing card. But I think it's what we'll end up wanting here. It's got another 1-drop in it. It only has minor interactions with Jack the Winner and kind of having these generated cards to be discarding, but we can probably make this work. Well, we do have Pool Sharks, right? If we're drawing out of Pool Shark, it gives us another card that we can just discard to Sketchers. I'm okay with it. These other cards are just also bad. I think out of all of these, the ones I really want is like Succession, but just that seems like an awful weak pull. Okay, interesting set. I want this double up Fleet Feather Trekker, I believe. I really like having these ways to close out games. I love having one double up in our deck, and then this Fleet Feather Trekker, just a fantastic unit. I think we can get by without having the Black Market Merchant. I would love to have more of these, but between 2 Pool Sharks, the 1 Merchant we have, and 1 Pilfered Goods, I think we should be okay from that standpoint. I'd love to pick up another one, but it's not ultra important. Okay, I forget about these Fortune Croakers. We have one of these as well. That is one of the nice interactions with at least with this Fortune Croaker, and when we're comparing it to our 1-drops, we have, Pool Sharks, Jagged Butcher, Crackshot Corsair. We have a lot of units that we can just slam this 1 damage onto and not have a big problem out of it. Here, he's the guy I'm going to be taking again as well. Okay. Cool. We'll take this Hunter. Swapping out these sleight of hands is just fantastic. This card's so bad, and to pick up a pretty high quality unit is great. Our curve looks pretty good. When I really preach being mindful of the cards that you take that cost more than 4. If you caught our run yesterday with the dragons, that's like one of the big deck building decisions with the dragons is how top heavy to let it fall. But we've done a fantastic job here. We're going to have 3 5-drops, a 6, and a double up. That's great. That leaves us open to add in a Sunburst or 2 if we see them, add in a Scrap Shot if we see it. If we see another like big epic like Cytheria or Genvivi, then we've managed our curve pretty well. It can just slam them in here. I'm real happy with how this curve has turned out here. Cool. Let's get to it. Pretty powerful little number here. The only thing we're really lacking is just removal. If we could pick up like a Scrap Shot or a Sunburst, that would be great. I think we're in a pretty good position here. Say that and immediately goose egg it. That's the way these go. If you're familiar with my work, I'm more than happy to record and put out my 0-win runs. I think a lot of times those are more beneficial and better learning experiences than some of these steamrolls to 7. So it happens. They're in there. And here we can get rid of some of these. We're certainly not keeping a 4. I don't think we want Spacey Sketcher. It's just we don't really have like the interactive elements to make him good at this point. And then I think we can hang on to these 2.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Okay, this may still pan out how we want. We're just going to have to get face slammed by this soldier.
Transgressions.
I just feel like I wanted to be able to get this plunder off with the merchant, but I don't think it's going to happen. Right? He just blocks 100% of the time here. So let's just move forward.
I never miss.
And we're pretty okay to play Pool Shark here. We can play the vast majority of our deck. Let's add these units if he's not going to play anything. Get in a couple points damage.
Ready, aim.
And if he has a combat trick here, we're more than okay with that.
Warriors in.
Okay, and see, this was kind of the thing I was talking about with Spacey Sketcher, is it gives us good ways to just come in here and discard these things. But we're just going to be deploying dudes here. What a weird-ass draw from this guy. He must not have been minding his curve throughout his run. So let's just go ahead and start slamming these dudes down. I'm happy to cycle away Bayou Brunch. There's a lot of high quality units we could be picking up here. The Serpent's
That's a
pretty reasonable.
sparklefly.
Oh, got stuff now? Sure.
I'll burn for what I've done.
Alright, we'll just nug him for 8. Fantastic setup here.
In range.
I mean, we can technically just play the Boxtopus and then we have hooks on whatever units he plays. But if he adds like Lee Sin, we don't have good hooks on it. So let's just go ahead and get all the damage in. Right. We have to assume that he's going to be playing a unit every turn for the rest of the game. Concussive Palm's fine. And the thing here is his units are going to be bigger than our units.
You started your training early.
War does that.
Oops, you dropped something.
That's an interesting pickup when you have Razor Scale Hunter. I had different plans here for how this was going to pan out. Sure. Why would he? Why?
Will keep you safe.
Don't really need to be messing with Taric. You just have like actual nothing to do. Okay. Oh, here's some stuff. I guess sure you can hook in these turds. Do we ever Razor Skull Hunter this stuff? I don't. Or what if we just like just playing it and opening with it's good enough, even if we're gonna lose that barrier. But I don't think we care. Let's slam it in there.
Them where they breed.
If he has some kind of tricked color hunter next turn, I think that's okay. You don't have to be making scout attacks here. I don't think we want to.
Let's get to it.
I don't want he has too much opportunity to add more to the board. I want him to, like, if he wants to win one of these combats, I want him to win by spending spells. I don't want him to be spending units to win these combats, right? It's not great for us if he adds like a random 5/5 to the board that can just come down and block. It is great for us if he spends a Twin Disciplines on one of these blockers. Sure. Guess we play this card. Like, when else are we going to do this?
Sharing, not stealing.
Okay.
Don't worry. I am
Okay, we can cast that on our Taric. Okay, okay. Let's see if he slams this in. I'd love to just put a Spacey Sketcher in front of it and drop Jack. He disagreed.
dazzling.
Time to get rich.
Never submit. Stand firm.
Sure.
Don't test me.
Sure. Taric's not super important to our deck. We're never doing Taric things with this. This is lethal. It's one short. We can try to jack the winter aim next turn. See if he's playing Nopifies.
You dropped something.
Okay, cool. And we'll be taking the Misfortune pack. It doesn't matter what's in it. We're going up to 3 Misfortunes. Okay, well, it's got Scout. It's not the ideal set of units, but it'll get the job done, I guess. That's another one of those reasons why I was glad to see our curve stay in check. You know, sometimes you're forced into just taking big stuff like that, and so it's good that our curve is still looking pretty good. Right. Got a product place just this Cold Stone Creamery chapstick. Stuff tastes like candy. Here we can keep this one. This is one of these starts to where if he doesn't have a 1-drop and we open with Fleet Feather Tracker, then we have a great open on the second turn. Should perhaps be swapping out Fortune Croaker. Doesn't fit in here too fantastically. But this is still okay, I think.
A game. Go on then. I don't change fate, but I can see it.
Okay. Awkward. We're gonna get blown up by Blighted Caretaker next turn, and there's not anything we can do about it. We can, like, technically go ahead and slam in, at least with the Pool Shark. Or I guess no, we could slam in with the Croaker and let this upgrade, and then if he wants to Blighted Caretaker us, he has to sacrifice his good unit. This is kind of like one of these things, like he's playing Callista, we have to assume that he's just in the Caretaker Collector deck. Yeah, this is what happened. We're gonna get Blighted Caretaker. And that's kind of like one of the things I like to do. He doesn't have a Capitalist Aristocrat down here. Oh, sure. Interesting. Okay. That's my train of thought. We need to find Misfortune.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
Or him. I forget about this thing being a unit. It's a pretty dangerous one to try to slide in here, but oh, we just hit it all. Okay. Let's do this with Misfortune. He's a little bit more powerful than the Boxtopus. Right? Yeah. If he has any removal spell will be good enough for him to protect his Callista, so I'm okay with this. Yep.
I'll be damned.
I'm gonna go ahead and spike this Bark Beast. This is
Captain's
okay.
orders. Bullet to the face.
Got some time. We can take some hits here. This Callista flipping's not going to be great. Like, it's just we don't have good attacks. We're going to have to slam 100 units into this Callista to try to survive it. Sure. As long as he doesn't get a flip here, we might be okay.
Can see the Demacia
Sure.
border from here. Pablo's been down, but his knee out.
Ah, I told your ancestors to protect.
Have to let this live or this Callista will flip.
Alert the village.
Oh, bud. Come on. Come on, bud. Yeah. Teammates. All right, so if he has another removal spell, we're pretty hosed here, but kind of is what it is.
Right. Ooh, you wee scruff.
I've got us covered.
At least slam through this if he's got the interaction, or even if he has like a glimpse beyond, it's kind of a problem. Yeah, Withering Wail is good here. We did the mathematics, it's pretty good.
Missed.
Strange.
The wrong shall find their vengeance!
Nothing is
We're not out of it. We're about to draw a ton of cards. It's always a reasonable one into this Callista.
Sharing, not stealing.
Tall Tales, what a shitty draw.
You started without
I guess when you pick up two vengeances, you can be like, oh, this Tall Tales was shitty. Let's see what happens. I can't remember what this Callista's going to put forth. It might be an Aversion. No, it'll put, putting forth a Sentry is pretty good.
Can see the
nice.
Demacian border from here.
Get this out of here. Really? Yep. Guess he gets to draw some cards.
There is work yet to do.
We block, we'll only take 4. Seems like something we're gonna have to do. Like we can still hired gun into this Callista and try to take her down with our 5/2. It's just too much damage to take if we don't put something in front of this.
No.
Call this our low variance game. This dude's had a case of the have-it-alls this game.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
We burn, then kindle
Yep.
anew.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to do it.
And the world burns.
Okay, well, let's see how bad this is gonna get. Oh, headbutts. I can't see. Who wants to bet? Who wants to take a wager? And we're gonna play this Vengeance on Callista, and then he's gonna play Chronicler of Ruin next turn on his Rekindler. Feel it. You can tell it's what's gonna happen. Like we're so far out of this one, anyways. He's 6 cards in hand ahead of us. Sure. I'm just gonna concede next turn, but I want to see if his play is Chronicler of Ruin.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
Yeah, this isn't gonna do it.
Up there in the mountains.
You still got a chance. You got a chance to play another one. No, just Ash. That makes sense to be the 5-drop you draw. Okay. Moving forward. I feel like, if we got to play that match 10 times, we might, be like a 6 or 7 or 8 wins out of the 10, but we caught a high variance run there. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Here, this is a pretty easy trade. Let's get rid of the sleight of hand for the combat trick. We don't have a whole lot of scouts, but this does play well with both the scouts that we do have and with the challengers that we have. So it's a reasonable little pickup with sleight of hand just being terrible. So take that, move on. Can't tell in the video thing if my kitty just blends into my hoodie when I wear black. You should blend right in, buddy. Okay. Collective support was Zed. Let's see what we can do here. I think we need to keep Boxtopus. We kind of have to have an answer to Zed. And our answers have to be this kind of combat interaction, which is a bit unfortunate. There's an argument to keep a hired gun as well. That should be reasonable in this matchup. But this is... if we miss on our 1-drops, then this is just pretty bad for us. So let's not be ultra greedy here. We'll keep the Boxtopus. Found one. Cool.
I'll burn for what I've done. Let's get to it.
My feeling with like a lot of these support decks is like they have to just be hitting their curve. You know, let's see if he plays Young Witch here, right? This is like a completely non-exciting card for him to be dropping. Like I just do not care about this Young Witch. And then on his attack back, or on our attack back, you know, this can't actually block anything. And so you with these scouts, you just have to be like doing things to advance your board. Here, this unit's still fine even without the Nightfall.
The dead don't need riches.
It feels like we're probably going to get Zedded if he doesn't have a play here. He only has one in his deck. Ripper Shaper, okay.
But never breaks.
Oof. Okay, so we just don't have blocks. That's fine.
A gift from the river folk.
The ocean charts our course.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. We have good attacks if ever just want to pull in the hunter instead of just immediately going Swole Squirrel. I think I kind of like this. Gives it +3/+3. It's kind of a problem, but that's the only card that's a real issue here. Okay.
There's blood in the water.
This is our way.
So, I mean, he's gonna have a combat trick here, but I think that's okay. We can just kind of clean the board back up with this this Boxtopus. Ideally. I should say. Ideally, we can do that.
What form will the waters take?
Alright, well, he's certainly picking up 100 spells here. I think we're okay as long as we just keep his board in check. It's not the end of the world.
Skill and grace to tear your breath away.
Let's get to it.
Start the round! Ooh, you wee scruff!
You lack subtlety.
Perfect.
A gift from the river folk.
No!
My win streak!
Okay. Then the awkward thing here is we have all these plunder units in our hand with no warning shot or anything to activate. Well, that was a pretty reasonable pickup if I've ever seen one. This is just like reeks of a barrier. Fine with putting this here. We probably have to just interact with this Swole Squirrel. Or do we? Like, this is such a good hook onto this thing next turn. Like if we try to open with both of our units.
I'll
This
hunt
is
them
okay.
where they breed.
Might be a little greedy, but
Quiet.
sure. Okay.
Closing in on the mark.
Alright, nothing we can do about that. Right in Resonating Strike.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Okay, that might have been the might have been the draw of the day right there. Vex.
Swim quickly, little fish.
Okay. He's gonna have to put out a lot of work to protect this swole squirrel through a misfortune. Sure.
Mwah.
Let me sing.
I probably have to play the butcher. I feel like the merchant's a little greedy. I don't know. I mean, it may have given us something to do on his turn.
There's always
We should have
fighting
done
eight punch Pablo. Aye, right.
The dead don't need riches.
Where
I
are
don't
you
think
off
we
to?
want to attack with our Razor Scale Hunter. He's just gonna trade with this thing. So this is a reasonable block at this point. And if we want to flip our misfortune next turn, we have to have a scout unit in play. So I think we want to hang on to this guy.
Love ya.
Nice. So to just end it? Is the game over? No, we're a little short apparently. Apparently after doing the mathematics.
We swim
Sure.
within the flows of magic.
They won't like this. Change you go pet! You fly on, cute little smush ball! Yeah, you did it!
I think we're good. We can double up onto his Blight Scout. And then if he has a twin disciplines, it's not enough to kill us. Oh man. I got cat hair in my mouth again. I think this is right. Yeah, I mean if he has like Dena, we're okay. I don't think he can kill us out of this. I can't nothing's immediately coming to mind that he can kill us with. He can like prevent this double up, but he can't stop this from happening. Sure.
Line them up, watch them fall.
Something for the road.
What form will the waters take?
Okay.
Currents
So
pull them down. A gift from the river folk.
the river folk have the best gifts. In case you didn't know. Sure.
There's my
Sure.
favorite Lunchable Munchkin!
The one who eats. Hello.
Lulu!
Probably a huge pickup.
Goes to a good
I
cause.
think we should be fine in the face of this tasty Fey folk, but just play actual everything here. Okay. Do we just go ahead and concuss a Palm Lulu? Or we'd want to palm this thing. Well, we can come back to this thing. It's probably safer to just go ahead and hit it. Right? If he has like a... whatever, if he has another bastion or something. I'd like to know that this is already taken care of. Let's do this. Let's go. We can't do a huge little to big here, but let's at least get these bad units out here on the left.
Time for violence.
Misfortune, this thing.
Should have stayed home, pal.
Okay. Alright.
That's why I'm the captain.
Exactly. Exactly why you're the captain, Misfortune. So let's see. Okay, I'm not opposed to picking up bastions. It's just I think we really need these card draw cards in our deck, so I'm not going to do it. We don't need any more top end, and I certainly don't want sleight of hands. Let's just go ahead and skip over all these. Okay. A little closer than we'd like, but the run continues. We aren't shut down by Captain High Roll from 2 games earlier. You could say a lot about us with those pilfers there at the end of the game, I guess, but here, I think this is reasonable. Jack and Butcher's a great start. Bull Shark's fine, but not one that we're like amped to play on turn 1. It's not the best mulligan, but fine.
The chains, they never stop.
Okay, well,
We playing bilge rules, son?
let's get the Bull Shark in here. I want to hit this Plunder. There's still a pretty good chance we'll hit a card with this that we can play.
Trick shot.
Just leave me alone.
Okay, you disagreed with our Plunder, but I'll go ahead and cycle this away to draw a
Yours
card.
with me.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
I think we got our value out of the Bull Shark there.
Speak, stars. Speak, I say.
Don't have an answer to the duo after this. I mean, we can riposte into it, but it's kind of sketchy.
Celestial power. Oh, cracked.
Well, let's get on board and go for it. If we're racing, boys.
Bounty Bowl knows me name.
You don't have a play next turn for what we have here anyways, and like what else are we gonna draw? Like if we draw Misfortune, that's a fine play. Spacey Sketcher's not it. So let's get these in here. Then either way, I mean, this should turn out fine, right? We either win this huge combat with our tracker, or he plays a combat trick and can't add anything else to the board. Either outcome I'm pretty okay with.
Tales of our past are
Not seem like who he wants to be playing here.
What do you call
Spark student
that
shirt.
technique?
You about to get zetted. Play the old Zed with 2 gems. Get in there for 12.
Looking for a daring escape?
Sure. I just drew that because it didn't have +1/+1. How's this gonna go? He's just gonna replay Green Glade Elder. Let's just get the big block. Do we want to get the big blocker down? Because next turn we want to just open with our 2 trackers into his 2/2s. I think that's okay.
About my rules.
Traditions are lost if not passed on.
Yeah.
Quietly now.
Sweep the leg.
You're gonna. It's like you're definitely losing this next turn, but I don't think you want to just throw it away like that. Okay.
You wanted wrath? Any challenges? Time to get rich.
Okay.
I will teach you.
Do we want to cycle at this sleep with the fishes?
Left foot,
I
left.
don't really have any units I want to be casting this on right now. They just pop off this pilfered goods, so it's not like we need the cards really, though. I think we just want to get on board. Let's do this. See if we pick up like the stun card. I think this is what we want. Right? If he's just going to be... Well, there's two things. Like, the only way we'll ever lose this game is if he has some kind of huge elusive play next turn. And he has to add a bunch of dudes to the board to pull that off, where it's good. Or if, you know, the following turn, if we want to Crescent Strike before we open. Or don't open and the Crescent Strike in. I think that's fine as well.
Everything's better with company.
Says you.
So I'm going to go ahead and pass. He's going to need a second unit to threaten us with the elusives. Or Thresh. That's kind of threatening, I guess. I mean, I don't like super care if we lose Jack the Winner, but... How does this go? We clear Crescent Strike. And we just don't have mana to do anything. The next turn can just be opening with Broodmother. I just don't like what's about to happen with this Thresh. Let's get these stuns. Let's get this 2 damage in. We can technically pilfer off of this if we want, but I don't think we want to. I think we want to bank the 3 mana to double up. Where are we at next turn? And how far does that go? 8? So if we want to double up, we would have 5. We still can't really play anything.
No use crying.
Let's see if we get something cool. Twin Disciplines is kind of cool.
I promised a bloodbath.
Can do Misfortune, Sleep with the Fishes, double up. I think that's okay. How much can we punch through here? Like, we can hook this with our small. These two are going to block our bigs. We're just going to be hitting for 4, 5 with Misfortune. Yeah, I think that's good.
No prey, no pay.
He is going to add a unit here. It's going to drop this down a little bit, but I think we can just punch through. Can we still win even without Misfortune? How does this work? We're going to swing back. This is okay. We'll have something left behind that we can play Soup with the Fishes on.
The dead don't need riches. The hunt is on.
It's like, that's aggressive. That is aggressive.
Where are you going?
Okay. Oh, cool. That wasn't lethal yet, but I guess he knew he knew that we had to sleep with the fishes. So. So cool. Let's get our third misfortune here. This is with double trouble. That's a pretty weak pack, but we're stacking misfortunes. So that's what we're getting. Just not a huge fan of 2 double ups. Double trouble's kind of whatever. All right. Let's see. Misfortune's good enough to hold on to, even though we have 3 copies. I think we'll keep this, and then let's dig for a 1. There was an argument to kind of hang on to that, what's it called? A hired gun, especially when we're curving to misfortune, but I'd much rather find a 1. It doesn't feel too risky to be doing like a
game.
a 3-card mulligan here looking for a 1. We'll probably find a 2, right? As long as we find a 1 or a 2, it'll be okay.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
Still can't decide if he's going to be Nocturne heavy or Gangplank heavy. Nothing we can do to stop that one there.
No prey, no pay.
All right. This seems good. I'm gonna guess with the second Mistwraith he's gonna be doing Nocturne things at us.
You poor thing.
Don't have a lot of way to interact with these Mistwraiths, so well, Grizzled Ranger goes a long way into finding a way to do it, but leaves me a little scared. I want to make a play with this, where's he at, with the Razor Scale Hunter, but like if he, I think we're safe. Like, right, if he had a Risen Mists, he would have played it. There's a, if he draws a Mistwraith here, it kind of shuts us down. I have to assume that if he sat and thought about it, he probably didn't just hit one.
You started without me.
I think we're okay.
There's
Sure, we can
plenty
deal with
of
Jagged
killing
Butchers.
men.
We can block shit all day. It's this not blocking shit that gives us a little bit of trouble. Is there anything we'd rather do? Like, we can hired gun. We'll pop one of these. I think it does. I really wish we could just put this on the board and see what it's going to hit through the Oracle Eye, but it doesn't work like that here. On.
Eye sharp as my spear.
I was gonna be like, what up? Here's my Gangplank. He provides a little bit of trouble for this here. Oh, okay.
The hunt is on.
Okay. Right, I want to keep these around if we can. I have to assume that he's just going to block this, but I want to at least give him the option to let this thing live so we can use it to block next turn. The only thing that worries me about this play here is if he has a Risen Mist, but like I said, he would have opened Risen Mist last turn and blasted us for 9 if he had it. Sure. I think we need to leave the Hunter behind now.
I suppose.
This is still fine. This can block these Mistwraiths. I don't like. It's bad for us if we attack with Hunter and he trades with Jagged Butcher. We have to have our high health units blocking his Mistwraiths. Things will change next turn once we have this flipped Misfortune, but takes it. Okay.
I'm still good to scrap.
There goes our flipped misfortune. That play's not valid anymore.
There's always fighting 8 Pablo.
So we need to play something with 3 attack. Mountain Goat seems fine. We want to Goat Crescent. I don't. We could drop Cytherea here. It feels a little greedy. I think I want to play Goat. I think we want to end up having Island Navigator come down this turn and then play Cytherea next turn. I think that's what we want. Not make it rain. Not make it rain. That's just about as good. So how's this going to go? One's hooking Misfortune, one's hooking either of these. We have one blocker for these. Have I changed my mind? I think I have. You can just play this and trade it into anything.
I'm not afraid. Just a wee bit blind.
Right, as long as we just don't die here, I think we're okay. Like, it sucks to lose Misfortune, but I think that's okay.
Time to get rich.
Yep, let's just get this shit out of here.
Shut up.
Where you going?
And then do our best to not die. Okay. I mean, this is fine, right? He's gonna have a little bit better board than us but with these 2 Jagged Butchers, but we have 5 cards to his 3. And so, as long as we're able to just not immediately die, that helps so much. And getting those Mist Wraiths off board really pushes towards that plan. I don't want spell mana, so this is our best ad here.
Bloody, get paid.
Sure. That's brutal if that's what he hit off of his unspeakable horror. Yep, it was. It was. These chains are so huge. Like when you unspeakable horror into this guy, into the 3/4 invoke. Like it's just so many ridiculous plays you can make with this stuff.
Been a long path to get here.
I thought he missed. There's just one in the top 4. It seemed like there was an awful long pause before that card moved to his hand. Sure. So let's put Cytherea on the left, put these in like this. We can pull you down here. Okay. And if he wants to block Cytherea, it has to be with one of these smaller units, and then he can't. Like he can only block the Badger Bear with this guy now. So he either has to put Priestess or Bark Beast here, and can't use his Bark Beast to block anything else with. That's reasonable, I guess. Right. If we wanted Cytherea down here on the right, then he could 3 damage her with Bark Beast.
Say your farewells.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and heal her.
No.
There's a, if he has a Black Spear, he can pop her. But if his play is Grasp of the Undying, then I want her to be protected for next turn. Okay, seems pretty reasonable. He does have a big pile of cards, but one of them's that ephemeral rando unit that he picked up. Bark Beast. Bark Beast was his ephemeral rando unit. It's fine. Just get wide here.
Guide us.
Not the best go wide situation we could have hoped for. Sure. Ooh.
We playing bilge rules, son?
This is good, right? See how much less scary this is when he's not attacking us with Mist Wraiths? Getting those off the board was huge. These units are just whatever, I don't care about. We're so good at putting quantity on the board that we can just install in front of this stuff forever. The only question I have here is if he passes back to us if we add Crescent Guardian or not. You gonna flip? You're nowhere near flipping. So how does this go? I think we have to play. If the extent of his turn is hooking this Badger Bear with Nocturne, then I feel like that's a pretty big win for us. Okay. And we just open here, right? Yep. Double up. Double yep. we can we can put double up on whatever gets put in front of Crescent Guardian, unless it's Bark Beast.
Time to make some coin. Nothing stands in our way.
How we looking here, boss? Like, can get out of double up by having things like Glimpse Beyond that lets you sacrifice a unit to draw 2, but I guess technically within Shadow Isles there is the +2/+2 ephemeral combat trick. I haven't seen that card in like literal years, but it does exist in like one card pool. There's no combat tricks to get out of this in Bilgewater. What?
I know you.
This ends with him at 4 and no units. We're still going to go for it. Alright, good game, friend.
Ocean matter.
Ocean matter. That sounds like something Nautilus should say. Went out for breakfast and ate some ocean matter. Shit. Okay. So let's see. Don't really want Smooth Soloist. I don't think we want to do any of these. I don't really want to go over 2 Razor Scale Hunters. Our curve really just kind of pushed up a whole lot in these more recent picks. Don't feel like we need this. Don't feel like we need the Soloist. Yeah, I think I just want to skip all of these. move your mouse faster. It makes the matches fun quicker. In case you weren't aware. Works with anything computer related. You're putting together a badass Excel spreadsheet and it takes forever to load. Just move your mouse real fast. It makes Excel work faster. Shit they don't teach you in college. There we go. Interesting set. It's weird to me seeing both Lee Sin and Callista. I guess you can start with like Callista, Lee Sin, and then or start with like a Hecarim. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Here, let's hang on to our one and our misfortune. Cool. Because see, right? Because typically, say you start with like Hecarim and any of these, you just want to either stack 3 Callista or 3 Lee Sin. Like why? But if you're in like Callista, Lee Sin, why do you ever pick up a Hecarim? Like it just seems strange to me. I don't think there's a reason to just be dropping full sharks here.
Let's get to it.
It's too slow to try to get plunders out of these.
I'll burn for what I've done.
And the thing with Pull Shark is like we can play it and just lose the card. Like I think we're fine to just play Misfortune. It's too easy for him to play like a 3 health unit here that just shuts down this Pull Shark. If I felt like I could get in that extra point of damage with Pull Shark, I would have been happy to run it out. But it feels like there's just too many times to where we're playing this, not getting the card out of it, and then just not attacking with it because our opponent can make an easy block. I don't know if opponent's even here. It doesn't seem like he's really wanting to do anything. Maybe his plan was to play Callista here. That just looks shitty now. But that was gonna look shitty against pretty much any board that I have at this stage. We're do a click, Lazaro. There we go, doing something. Sure. This is probably a strikingly tough decision to make. Okay, let's see what he does. I'm okay with either adding Navigator or doing Pull Shark Crescent Guardian. As it stands, I probably want to be playing the Shark and the Guardian, but having Riposte in our hand does make these Island Navigators look a little bit more appealing. Can't imagine this ever goes well for him. Let's just lead with the Pull Shark so we just aren't just like passing here. If we're passing, it just looks super obvious that we're about to do something, and I'm okay with trying to riposte down this Callista.
Wait a minute.
Come on, bud. Can't play Runeterra without a teammate. Sure.
Chalk it up to luck.
It's rough. Like this doesn't feel like a turn where we could do anything except open. Maybe we can. Well, I guess picking up Hired Gun kind of changes things.
Master yourself. Master your enemy.
Let's at least drop some damage on it. Does leave us in a spot where we can potentially double him up next turn if things don't quite go how he plans. He's gonna have to start investing a lot of spells into this thing if he wants this to survive. Then these attacks are all fine. This Bark Beast won't get leveled up through our attack onto Lee Sin. Sure. Let's wait and see what he does. If he just sends it back, we're pretty okay with how this is panned out. Perfect. We can just double up his Lee Sin if we feel the need. I mean, it's pretty much our only target, which I think is fine. But we do have this kind of Fleet Feather tracker we can line up to do things with next turn. Does he ever just pass here? Who cares? Let's do this actually. I don't think we want to double up. I think we want to play Fleet Feather Tracker. We want to play Island Navigator and then just open. And if he has a way to protect this Lee Sin next turn with 2 spells, then fine. We can try to get the kill with double up.
She's gonna be so happy.
The ocean whispers her secrets.
Okay, that works for me. I'm just gonna throw the
This is our way.
whatever this thing is into the mix, because I'm planning on just playing Cytherea after the fact, and we need this space on our board. Not ideal, but sure.
Soldiers, to me!
Okay, then it doesn't quite matter. We're never going to lethal him before he has to get this block in. But let's at least try to push it down, I guess.
Always forward.
You point, I shoot.
Follow my lead!
I mean, how does this look? We can hook his Soul Gorger, but then he's going to have 3 blockers. Say he blocks our 3 bigs, it only takes 6. So yeah, let's just hook in his biggest unit that isn't Soul Gorger.
Already forgotten.
This gets us pretty close to a double up kill, right? One short.
No!
Okay.
Slaughter the living.
Sure.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
We'll pull this stuff off eventually. Sure. I think what this amounts to is like we have to attack with Grizzled Ranger, assume that he's going to block with the Soul Gorger, and then we just take it down after combat and then try to get a good Cytherea attack in. Kind of awkward. This is another Grasp Beyond. That's quite bad. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Not the ideal target for a double up, but protecting Cytherea is huge here. We have to get in for some damage. I think we just have to ignore, get over the fact that we're not going to kill through this Soul Gorger, which I think is okay. He does get 2 blocks out of it, but I think we should be able to murder his board. Sure.
Beamer.
So how's this going to go? We're going to swing with everything. Soul Gorger will block Cytheria. This thing will block here. This thing can block the thing at that point. That's fine. We'll ground this down.
A game.
This Bark Beast, unless he does something else, this Bark Beast can only block Cytheria, since our units will get fearsome.
I've come so far.
Okay, do we ever get an Overwhelm in here? I don't really want to just be like passing, because this deck is going to be better at it's going to be better at having late game than us. Just don't see a way we can like order these units to where we're going to get one in. Right, we just have to pass it and hope to draw Misfortune or something, I guess. Good start to making things happen. That's it? Okay, I think our health total's getting low enough to worry. Oh, kitty. We probably have to block it with something. Right, we're getting pretty close to getting killed by an atrocity. Oh man, this thing can't block. Was this on board last turn? Was I counting this as a blocker? I don't remember.
I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
Kind of unfortunate if that's what I was doing. Let's just go ahead and line up some good attacks here. We should be able to clear out his board pretty well with this. Seems like he's going to have some way to interact here if he's just making no plays on this board, but this seems good. Sure.
Let me think.
Maybe he's just got all the crumbles. Sure. Okay, we can draw a card first.
If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid. There's blood in the water.
We'll go ahead and hook this in. I'm planning on pulling this way down to the right, but I don't think it matters here. And then the big thing that we wanted to see was if, like, if he had a combat trick, we'd want him to spend it there to try to take down the Razor Scale Hunter. But I mean, it seems like we have plenty of time now. We don't need to be getting too crazy with this board. I think still kind of feel like we just want to send everything in though, because I want to cast this Pilfered Goods. So that's fine. Like how many he can get a handful of value blocks. That's okay.
Don't stand in my way.
Where are you, spirit?
Okay. I mean, you can easily get a handful of value blocks on these twos. I just think that we need to punch through this one damage. We'll wear his board down a little bit, and then pop off a Pilfered Goods. Yep, looks perfect to me. What you got? These cards are trash. That's not the shit we were looking for here. Opens, that's fine.
Make it worth my while. Son of a...
There's cards we die to. We die to an unspeakable horror. We die to a
Pablo's been down, but his knee out.
atrocity. I feel like if he had him, he would have snapped him off though. No. Okay, just waiting a little bit for it. That's fine. I'll still stand by it. I don't think we ever just like sit around and win that game. So I mean, it's unfortunate to see yourselves hit a just a pile of steaming garbage whenever that what's it called? Whenever the pilfered goods goes off, but. You know, if we would have just drawn like any actual like 5-cost card in the game, then we could have probably turned that. But nonetheless, I think I'm okay with keeping Taric. I mean, he's not like fantastic in this deck. We don't have any spells we can cast on him. Maybe we have a handful of gems and a riposte. I'd probably rather just have Garen. We're not getting like the real value out of this. We don't have a whole lot of challengers. I think that's okay. Don't want this. The Guardian's fine, but just not for Jack. Let's pick up Garen. Oof. All right, the random T-shirt. That's almost a reasonable start. It's a lot of ways to interact. I guess we can hang on to all of it. The Croaker is what feels weird here. Let's actually cycle him out. I don't think we'll find a good spot to actually drop him early. Came back. He said this game's for me.
Can see the Demacian border from here.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Let's see what he does. A lot of times they just like they just attack into you anyways. I think we're good to just go ahead and open.
Don't stand in my way.
We want to get the plunder here. We can just draw this rando card.
Light the signal
Things can get kind of awkward if we let him just add to the board. Sure.
There's plenty of killing.
And the question is, do we want to play box to post, or do we want to you know, try to get things rolling with Bayou Brunch? I think we can actually Bayou Brunch here. Right, we can play box to post, and then it depends on what he does next turn, right? If he doesn't really add to the board or take advantage of this ramp, then we can navigate. And if you know, he adds something to the board worth interacting with, then we can Bayou Brunch. I think this is safe. Pick an ally. Oh god, you gotta do this. You gotta do this in the right order. Pick an ally, capture an ally. Okay. Okay. It's fortune. Okay, I'm in.
Fortune favors the bold.
The trolls are going to war! Ready when you are. Always ready.
Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Get out of here.
Time to make some coin.
Okay. He wants to just take the full 6 and get a value block on the hired gun. I'm pretty okay with it.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Sure.
Love ya.
No! My selection speaks for itself.
Battle Fury. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, the surprise Battle Furies. We're gonna get him. He's gonna get got here. Doesn't even know it. Oh man, this Trundle's about to come in, isn't it? He's gonna get Battle Furied. Oh, that's rich right there. That's rich. All right. So let's see if he's got any more tricks. We want to do it. Like, how bad is this if he has the trick? I mean, all he can have is another blessing. He could have a blessing of Targon or the Fury of the North. But, I mean, I think it's okay, right? If this goes wrong. I don't know, guys. Yeah, let's yellow this. The majority of their tricks are things that help him not lose this combat, not win it. Yeah, so he does not lose this here. That's fine. All right, let's find another challenger.
This brings up a healing, not swimming.
Okay, we need a scout here.
Nagakabu.
Let's go ahead and pull that off. Not too exciting.
It's always cold in the Freljord. It's good to be the king.
Okay. We're just never never doing anything about this Trundle. So I want to get a scout attack. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and attack with this. We want to get it off board. And then if he wants to block with Trundle, maybe he'll be a little scared of his health, maybe not. And this is what I was actually hoping for, because now if this thing wants to block Misfortune, just aces it, unless he wants to spend a Spring Gifts on it right here, which is okay. Sure.
Cover me, Crackshot. You got it, Captain.
You got it, Captain. We're gonna try to KO those Weirding Stones. We want to get our Misfortune flipped, and that's all we really have going for it right now. Sure.
Love ya.
Oh no, that's gonna make Misfortune our strongest unit. Oh no. Oh, that's a problem.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
Oh no, we just punted that. We didn't have anything to take this pillar down though. Oh man. Not happy with how that panned out. We drew another one, but she's not gonna get to see these attacks is the problem. Oh no.
We are so glad to
Sure.
have you back, Grandfather. I only leave to know the joy of return.
I don't think we have a way out of this. Our board's just too weak in front of these big units. No, we can't give up on it just yet. Let's see if we can't do anything, but something. Okay, let's get at least challenge Rummel.
I'll knock 'em dead. I am rather large. One smack'll do.
Damn.
hell of a day.
It's all right.
Okay, I think that's gonna do it for us, unfortunately. We just, well.
Fortune favors the bold.
Let's see.
The
Maybe
ocean is no
we
place
can
for
still
the
pull
weak.
something off here. I'm not seeing it, but we'll try. We aren't dead to this trundle just yet. Gonna try and reflip this misfortune.
By the power of the stars. To heal and protect.
All right, let's mess some folks up.
We would have had a shot if the misfortune was flipped this turn and blasting things for 3 hits. Had a chance to just go through and hit face hard enough. I just don't think we're gonna be able to do it this game now.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Just the actual everything's would just cycling. That's fine, but
Mwah.
all right, we're gonna call it quits here. We're not coming back in this one. That's unfortunate. It's just, I mean, that game came down to
Somebody's gonna
were we
bleed
able to
for
battle
this.
Fury Trundle, and when you know, we gave up that whole turn and had it go wrong, then there's no coming back. We're kind of in the space to where, you know, we could have won had we been able to just like Diabolic Edict into that Trundle every turn for the rest of the game, but without our misfortune being flipped. You know, that's our key. We can throw our units away into our opponent's stuff if that misfortune's getting flipped, right? Because she's just going to face for 6 damage a turn with her hero power, but without her being flipped, that we had some choices in there where we could have tried to hook into his pillar. I'd kind of loosely thought about it, but I had it seemed like, you know, if we're gonna make these things work, then we could probably just go ahead and hit the weirding stones, because we didn't really have enough power to be attacking his thing. His well, we could have attacked his pillar with our giant, like, now 11-1 dude, and then we'd have taken down the pillar. He would have had the weirding stones. That's probably how we should have gone about it, but nonetheless, didn't quite pan out there. And so, yep. Anyways, this is it was a fairly standard misfortune deck. It kind of touches on a few of the different things that you can do, whether or not that be go the Bilgewater route where you're trying to just hit the black market merchants' pilfered goods, go on the Demacia route where you're trying to play scouts, or go onto the Targon route where you're trying to get this big stack of really good 1-drops. It's, you know, 3 different things you can do. We didn't really hit on any of them. We hit on the kind of like general sense in this deck to where you know, we did a really good job of managing our curve. And then we had some absolutely fantastic top end between Jack the Winter, Cythria. You know, we nailed this top end perfectly. It's just we were just missing that just like little bit that pushes this up into being a 7-win deck. Whether or not that's just hitting a huge stack of like the number I'm usually looking for is like 10. We kind of got close to 10 1-drops, but 3, I mean, I think we hit 10 exactly, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 short. That's why we lost. But no, in the 1-drops deck, I'm usually looking for about 10 1-drops, but then we're looking for more, a lot more black market merchants and pilfered goods, usually looking to have about 4 or 5 in total of those, so that you can just spew out your whole hand and then refill back up with these. And so, like in that last game there, where we were running into the Trundle. Kind of the idea is that we don't really care as long as about throwing away a handful of Jagged Butchers and stuff, because we're just going to quantity through our opponent, and we just have to get that done before their board gets wide, and then maybe we'll pick up some top end out of their deck or pick up a Battle Fury like that. That's kind of how those games go. But we're a little short on the card draw, and things like Fortune Croaker don't quite make up for that. Fortune Croaker, Pool Shark are extremely good, but we're kind of trying to draw our opponent's top end so that we don't actually have to play any, and so that's where it kind of falls a little bit short there. Then with the scouts, we just didn't see any. We did pick up Demacia, I think on pick 6. Yeah, that had the one scout unit in it, and then we didn't. If we saw the only other scout units we saw the rest of the game were Stalking Broodmother, and so that kind of left us out of using this like really heavy Misfortune flip deck, and then we're kind of just missing the good. We're not missing the good Targon cards. We just don't have a big density of it, and so it feels like we're at about like 75% of a deck here. 4 to 5 wins feels about right for this. If we'd rolled the dice into some better matchups, we probably could have pushed this up to 5 or 6. But this feels a little bit of synergy short of being a 7, and so. If you're picking up Misfortune in the future, I do recommend that you try to really solidify yourself in one of these 3 themes that I talked about here. I don't want to say that we half-assed this deck. We aren't like kind of stuck in 2 different themes. It's just we didn't really find the payoff in any of these, right? And those 3 themes, if you see my mouse cursor running up here at the top right, there's the Bilgewater theme of drawing your opponent's cards with plunders. There's the Demacia theme of having scouts. There's the Targon theme of having multiple really good early game units. We didn't hit on any of those themes to any real quantity. And that's why you kind of see yourselves falling flat here. But that's going to do it for this run. I do believe we have a stack of rewards here. I think the weekly chest is out at this point. Let's take a click on these things and see what we get. Yay, Soraka. Is that not the wild capsule? We gotta go home. I'm pretty sure we got a weekly vault here. Yeah, I got all those diamond chests this time. Started playing Constructed again, and oh, they're only platinum. Fuck! I gotta play more Constructed. I didn't do enough cardio this week. That's when I get it done. I used to. I usually get either 2.5 or 3 hours of cardio a week. I used to play Hearthstone forever. I got burnt out on Hearthstone. I won't give Blizzard money anymore, so I quit playing it. And then I switched over to Teamfight Tactics, and I still like the auto battlers. I like Teamfight Tactics. I've just gotten a little burnt out on it, and so I've jumped into the Legends of Runeterra Constructed. Where are those champions at? No champions. Wah wah. Wild cards count, I guess. It just doesn't look as exciting to open. But all right, that's going to do it for the week. For the week, I'll be back. I promise. I'll have more expedition runs before the week's over. That does it for the weekly vault. But no, this run in itself is also over as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the run. Learned something along the way. Had a good time. Maybe caught a little bit of entertainment. This is Free to Play Bust. We thank you for being here.